Hi, I'm Judy Vitale with your weekly horoscopes at work forecast for September 14th through 20th, 2015. First of all, happy, sweet New Year to all my friends who are celebrating Rosh Hashanah, and I hope that the New Year brings you everything wonderful. This also is a time when we're absorbing the solar eclipse that took place with the new moon on Sunday, September the 13th. So I want everybody to keep in mind that this is a new start, a time to really get engaged in those projects that we've been putting off for so long. This is going to be an interesting week, to say the least. The news everybody's waiting to hear and everybody latches on to because it is pretty important. Mercury is going retrograde, and that will be taking place this Thursday, September 17th, 2:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Yikes. Yes, it's in the sign of Libra. Expect a little bit more of the Venus retrograde feeling where you're going over your relationships and negotiations. Libra's big on negotiations, and sometimes the lack thereof. Libra can be very combative, especially when there are verbal arguments looming in your milieu. So be very careful about it, and also misunderstandings in relationships. Make sure that you are communicating what is really in your heart rather than what sounds good at the time. So with that said, I will also tell you that Thursday has two other big events happening. The first one, and probably really the biggest event, is Saturn moving into Sagittarius for good. Saturn flirted with the first few degrees of Sagittarius back in late 2014, early 2015, and then it retrograded back into Scorpio, and now this is it. It's into Sagittarius for at least the next 30 years before it goes back into Scorpio again. But with this, we can expect a little bit of a weighing down of our values and a little bit of a slowdown about thinking about what's the right thing to do. And if you have Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo in your chart, you're going to feel this really strongly. And I would definitely say you should get a reading. Doesn't have to be me, but I'm here for you if you need me, okay? And then finally, we have Jupiter opposite Neptune, also in the mutable signs. This is a Virgo-Pisces kind of axis that's going on. And that's also where the new moon occurred. So the people with those signs are going to feel this really strongly. And Jupiter-Neptune is an expansion of our hopes and dreams and a really dangerous tendency to see what we think we want to see rather than what is really there. So be careful with that as well. Now, let's go through this day by day so that we can manage everything around Thursday, because that really is the key day that we need to watch for. Monday, we have that Libra moon. So let's just, we talked about the Libra energy with regard to Mercury. The Libra moon is a time when we want to establish peace. We also want to do a little bit with our aesthetics and what's around us. It isn't a bad time to rearrange the furniture and to just sort of make things so that this is aesthetically appealing to us so that we're not distracted by things that are not. On Tuesday, things get a little bit more interesting when the moon in Libra makes a square to Pluto and an opposition to Uranus. So this brings out that let's change everything energy that goes on with those two planets involved. On Wednesday, we have a short void of course moon period from 12:22 a.m. to 11:43 a.m. Be very careful Wednesday morning what you're planning to do because it may not turn out the way that you wanted it to. Then on Thursday, we have, starting on Wednesday actually at 11:43 and going through Thursday, we have the Scorpio moon. And this is when people get very deeply principled about what they want and going after it and finding ways to get it. So keep that in mind as you do your work. On Thursday, we have all of that stuff that I told you about in the beginning. Mercury going retrograde, Jupiter opposite Neptune, Saturn going into Sagittarius. It's a busy time. Friday, we have a void of course period from 3:49 a.m. to 11:30 or 3:49 p.m. to 11:32 p.m. I'm starting with my Mercury retrogrades misspeaking already. So that's the afternoon into the evening on Friday. Void of course moon. Leave yourself up in the air. Don't make too many commitments and be prepared to kind of think on the fly if you have to change your plans around. And I'm happy to say on Saturday and Sunday we have the happy-go-lucky Sagittarius moon. So it'll be a fun weekend at the very least. So do enjoy that period of time. And always with Mercury retrograde, we want to be careful about our negotiations. When we're making contracts, you want to avoid signing them if you can until after October 10th. That's when the period will be over. But in the meantime, you can look at the details, and if you have to sign a contract, you have to sign it. So make sure you pay attention to every last nit detail. Get someone else to look over it with you and for you, and then cross-check one another. That's really the best way to do it. And then also, the early part of the week, we're going to want to take care of our cars and our computers and any kind of technology, cameras, whatever it is that you depend on to work, anything with the principle of communication, it's going to be affected by the retrograde. So you want to prepare for it by taking care and doing all of your maintenance before it breaks down. And then you have an easy Mercury retrograde period, and you can keep your sense of humor and just laugh it off because it will pass. And again, October 10th is when it will be over. So that's it for me this week. I will be at Journeys of Life on Wednesday, September 16th from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. I'll be away for the weekend, but I will be scheduling appointments again starting on the 21st. So if you'd like to contact me for an appointment or for a private video reading where I read your chart for 5 to 7 minutes for a small fee, you can contact me through the new website or at Judy, Judi, at readthestars.com.